Yo, how is everyone doing? Today we're going to be recapping the April 13th trade, which is the Monday. This was just yesterday, basically. Today is Tuesday, 14th of April, and we're going to go over the trade we took on 13th of April, Monday. And how I look at the markets is through the lens of power of three and quarterly theory, which is honestly the best concept I've ever learned. It's made my trades so much more precise. So if you're not, using it right now and you feel like you're lacking precision, you're over trading and you're, you know, having a lot of psychology problems, it all kind of stems from the strategy you're using as well. Because, some strategies, um, for example, I used to scalp and it didn't work with how I, thought of things, and it didn't work for me because I'm so prone to overtraining and just being so addicted to charts. Like scalping wasn't for me. I needed to, use a strategy that aligned with how my brain worked, how my biology is. So that's what quarterly theory gave me. It allowed me to be so precise and only take very few trades a day, but very precise trades. And, it just fixed my psychology, made me so much more patient. And obviously, it's not going to instantly fix your psychology, but, with time and practice, it's gonna be the one that can work for you long run if, you're similar to how I was back then. But coming into the markets I always start from the high time frame. And what was most relevant to me was the development of the previous 2 weeks. So as you can see here, from 30th March, end of March, we started becoming bullish. Now, there wasn't really significant SSMT here. SSMT, which is basically SMT from ICT concepts, but it's like with time. So you look at just random, cracking correlations where it's like higher and lower. You look at specific ones that align with these quarters you see here, which is like daily, which is the previous like 6 hours or previous 15-minute, things like that. But looking at the previous 2 weeks, you can see here, let's go on the monthly time frame. We don't have a significant high time frame SSMT per se, but there is a significant like balance, like drawn liquidity that was met from this um lower move so far this year. And it didn't retrace the EQ, but it went tapped into this monthly fair value gap, which is quite significant. This monthly fair value gap right here, while YM here doesn't tap into it again, you see. That's a type of SMT. It's called SMTF, which is when one um asset taps into a fair value gap but the other doesn't. And this is a significant cracking correlation because it's a continuation cracking correlation. It shows that we're still able to go higher here. We're still reacting off this. And when this happened right here, let's say this displacement here, I didn't exactly know that it was gonna start going higher now after that. But then seeing, oh, we go here, we retrace back to EQ from this leg up, EQ, and then we go back higher. And then do it again here. We soup this. This was a SSMT as well. Yeah, it was a weekly, which means previous day. See, order flow has shift bullish. Now I don't use like order flow, like looking into depth of market and things like that, but clearly I can see market on the high time frame is going bullish now, reacting off bullish. And what's the next bullish draw on liquidity? Well, right here, equal highs, very low resistance liquidity. I don't really use like mainly I look at where SSMT can occur, which is previous month high, previous week high, previous day high, things like that. Those are significant liquidity points. Like I'm not gonna look at this and say, oh, we have SSMT here. Oh no, not SSMT. It won't be classified as SSMT, but I'm not gonna be like, look, we have SMT here. If there was SMT that happened, but it didn't. But if there was, I'm not gonna use this and be like, oh, we're gonna go lower now, maybe. No. we need to head towards the next significant liquidity point, which is time-based, always time-based. And that is previous month high, right here. And then when you drop down lower, okay, high time frame is bullish. Now, what's most significant about today was that last week I was bullish as well. I knew that previous month high we're so close to taking it, and we're reacting off these imbalances. We're displacing. Look at this massive displacement up towards it. But we have this liquidity here, and I was like, ideally, on Friday I was thinking, oh, maybe we could take this and then go higher. But Friday just accumulated basically, and this, if you can check out my TikTok, I post all my trades there, just like, or you saw this at the start of the video, but I kind of overtraded here because I was thinking, we're gonna definitely take previous month high, like not definitely, but very high chance. Um, but you can see that on my TikTok on Friday, and then I got off after I overtraded because at least I could log myself off and stop myself here. I didn't care, what happened after because I already broke my rules. I don't want to continue trying to catch a move that will clearly be wrong regardless if I make profit because I'm breaking my rules. I'm ruining my psychology, which is the most important part of trading. So, got off, but Monday, look, we just dump so hard. Look, and we take out this significant liquidity point. It's not really time-based, so it's not an SSMT. However, it is significant in the terms of it's rebalancing here. Rebalancing into this massive 4-hour gap, taking all this low resistant liquidity right here. Look how much equal lows built up, trendline liquidity here. Swoop that, and price immediately starts expanding intraday, in the intraday price action. And let me turn this on. This indicator helps me. It's like an ICT, Asia, London, New York. It marks that out, the kill zones, but it clearly shows me the power of three development of the intraday development here on Monday. Look, we just go higher. Previous month high is still the major target because we basically engineered liquidity here. 70 points away from previous month highs, basically equal highs up here. We failed to take that and we just want to basically manipulate first on Monday on this gap. We go lower and look, we start just immediately filling this gap. And what told me we were like bullish on Monday, it wasn't because we're just continuing higher. Mondays also tend to just continue higher sometimes. Like if you look on the past Mondays, it's like the beginning of the week, so it sets up the liquidities. Sometimes it just doesn't make sense. Like it'll just continue going higher without any like indication on market open. But today we had a clear bullish structure, clear order flow telling us we're going to continue higher. And how I know that is because look right here. See these quarters between uh the start of the day, which is true day open. It's another concept where it's basically midnight opening price for ICT, but it's a significant time-based premium and a discount where you can mark out exactly where premium and discount is, not based on price, but on time now. Usually we want to buy below the opening price and sell above. That's the general like rule, but in this case it's a little different because look, we already manipulated below this trade open on YM here. You see this? This is SSMT right here. Right here. Basically made, yeah, around this one here. But this is SSMT. Let me see. Did we have an extra SSM, like small time frame SMT, SSMT, I mean? It's a chart. But let's see. Yeah, we did as well. We did as well. Right here, here to here. This is also called SSMT, which is on the smaller time frame. I only pay attention to this basically on the smaller time frame. And yeah, that's all. I think. Yeah. So daily plus micro, very high problem, especially when YM manipulates below the true day open right here. You see? Get the high time frame, low time frame. here would have been a great entry. However, I don't trade pre-market or any other session besides New York. But here's what confirmed it that order flow is going to continue being bullish today is we manipulate here, then we continue, we displace up, go back up. There's also a data high here from a random news event, but um, I don't really care about that right now because we're just going to continue higher. Clearly, market is bullish right here. And here, what I was thinking was until we get a bearish SSMT and a very strong displacement from it, I'm gonna assume price is gonna. Well, it's logical to assume price is gonna continue being bullish. Just continue being bullish. Like what? It's really hard for a price to be bearish right now. We're clearly being bullish as fuck. But then we get this extra, like this was so clean, this structure. This is an SMTF here as well. You see how NQ fails to tap into this fair value gap of the distribution leg from the daily. Like that is just nothing. It can't get more clearer than that. See, there's this fair value gap. Hold on, my bad. It was not this one. It was this fair value gap right here. It was a small one, but it reacted off that nonetheless. Oh no, my bad. It was this one. This was an SMTF where one asset creates a fair value gap, but the other doesn't. You see on this candle right here. Oh, man, I'm kind of little sick from cold. It's been quite cold recently in Australia, but you can see here, um, NQ makes NQ fails to make a fair value gap, but YM does make a fair value gap here. And YM retraces into it, that's extra confluence right here. NQ fails to retrace into that. Basically taking previous 15-minute low on YM, but failing on NQ. Things like this just let you know, like, especially after a SSMT, like basically always after an SSMT. I'm not going to look for these cracking correlations when there's no SSMT at the bottom of the move or top of the move, just because otherwise you're just looking at noise. But this is clearly bullish distribution, bullish order flow. Price is just going lower, manipulating previous, 15-minute candle, 5-minute candle, going higher, and so just rinse and repeat. Okay, and then let's see market open. Let's see market open. What happened? Right here, market opens. We just immediately expand higher, but there's nothing to validate this move yet. Nothing to validate that move. Let me delete this. Right here, we didn't get that. Look, even here in pre-market, it was telling us order flow is so bullish right now. Look at this. This is a clear AMD, small AMD on the like 1 minute time frame. We, accumulate, manipulate into this fair value gap, go higher. Here, we fail to do so. SMT plus SMT, that is just so high probable. Like, if you got your stops below here, you're not going to get manipulated, but you see price comes so close to manipulating that, but still, it's a protected, really protected stop. But let's look at market open. We immediately expand higher. There's a daily SSMT at the low, but there's just nothing to, give us an entry on the low time frame. I'm not just gonna long here. We already distributed so far from the daily at the low. But the next like anchor of premium discount is true microcycle, which is microcycles like every 22 and a half minutes. It basically divides the 90-minute quarter into four parts. And SSMT is when anytime there's SMT basically between for the previous quarter, just the previous quarter, not 2 quarters, not 3 quarters behind, but just the previous quarter, gives so much accuracy. And look, immediately expand higher, then price goes lower, retraces down into discount. You know it's in discount when it's in this true microcycle open. You don't always count on it, but in this case, we've already got a distribution happening from the daily, and we're looking for an entry on the low time frame. We can use this as the premium discount anchor. Now, um, here I was thinking, low key, I was thinking like a little bearish. I'm like, but then I was like, no, there's no way because there's no SSMT or anything to validate us going lower either. So taking a short here is just going to be gambling. Excuse me, little little thick as I mentioned, but let's go. Continue on. So here we go lower. There's no SSMT, and here we're so close to the next microcycle quarter. So I'm just waiting. I'm waiting for that microcycle to happen. We're below the true microcycle open. If a microcycle happens here and there's a CISD, which is my entry trigger, then I'm gonna take it. And as you can see here, 90-minute happens. Look, but something really special occurs, which is very crucial to wait for. If you look here, we take microcycle on this candle. Right on 9:45, we make microcycle. Right here, yep. And what validates me to enter isn't immediately seeing an SSMT. That's not how it works. There's still potential for price to accumulate, for price to do whatever, and still hold, you know? Like, you know when people mark out SSMTs in hindsight and it looks so obvious? It's difficult because in real time, you don't know exactly when to enter. People mark out like, oh, it's just SSMT with this low or SMT with this low, this high. It's easy, and then you enter. That's the tip of the iceberg or bottom of the bottom tick, top tick, whatever. But in real market, you don't know when it's going to be a bottom tick. You don't know when it's going to be the bottom or top of the move. Like here, I could have entered right here. Let me show you. Right as SSMT was made, like right here. Let me turn off New York session. Like, how could I have known that this was going to be at the bottom and not this? That's when CISD comes into play. This is the importance of CISD, which is change in state of delivery. It's kind of like a shift in order flow. You know that's when price is reacting off a low, and that's when SSMT will start to hold. Generally, like right here, the CISD is kind of large, although it's still valid. Like you still got so much short above, which is like this gap, full fill of this gap, which is my target. But um, it's still kind of a low R entry for me, just because we have microcycle and the CISDs are pretty fat CISD. Although this was definitely a very valid entry, like nothing wrong with this at all. For me, just because of my experience, and although I wouldn't say I'm consistently profitable yet, but just from what I've seen, what I've done, all my data collection, if what validates me dropping to a lower time frame CISD, which is the 15-second, is the fact that we have a 1 minute cracking correlation right here, right here. We do have it here as well, but let me show you something. We have it here, but no, we don't have a 15-second CISD off this 1 minute, um, of this 1 minute candle, cracking correlation candle, like right here. This was when the 1 minute occurred. So SSMT occurred like I use this Ninja Trader. It's like a just because I don't want to subscribe to the 15-second on TradingView. It's like too expensive for me right now. Not that profitable yet to buy that. It's like 150 USD a month or something, or more than that. But that's fuck. That is so much for me right now. So what I use is this Ninja Trader. It's kind of free. If you join the competitions, it's kind of like a hack where you join the competitions, you use the demo, they give you like the live data for seconds chart for free while you're in the competition. But I just joined them and I don't even compete really because it's basically impossible to become first because there's no consistency rule and people just full port. You'll see P&Ls of like 60K, like basically doubling an account in one like hour, but it's basically impossible to win those unless you full port. And it's just like practicing bad habits anyway. So I don't really want to try even attempt at that. But anyways, looking at this, we have the 1 minute right here. It was like around right here, something along here. But see this leg down, we have no CISD. The next 15-second is still here at the 1 minute. But then we form another 1 minute down here. 1 minute, see, ES fails to take 1 minute. YM as well fails to take it. Very high probable. I love it when NQ is the one making the manipulation. You get to really catch the bottom of the move. But then, yep, right here, 1 minute forms. Now what confirms it? 15 second CISD. This confirms it. This tells us, yes, we're going high now. We are changing the flow. We're changing order flow. We're changing our delivery state. We're going from bearish to bullish now. And look, this is why you don't enter off this 1 minute one. We don't have a CISD. This is what confirms it. This is what confirms it. Wait for the CISD. Always wait for the CISD. And here's my analysis chart. I basically have all my indicators, and here's my execution one where I have my executions just because it looks cleaner for like recaps and trades, and also I like to have a clearer mind when I'm actually entering. Although by the time I get here, I know I'm already entering. Like I'm not gonna hop to this chart without finishing my analysis on this one first. Like right here, and then I hop to 15 second. See 15 second CISD made. Here, buy. Easy, enter. And this was a 4.72 RR, 122.75 points. And my target was like, it was kind of weird. It wasn't really the full fill of the gap just because I didn't want to target that much, but it was like this candle low here. Yeah. It was this candle low of the 15 minute. Not really, yeah, just because this was like the full, like real gap of it where price hasn't been traded into at all, but full fill was definitely valid. Previous month high also could be valid just because, price was clearly bullish today, but I just didn't want to wait. Also, my psychology is not there yet. I wasn't gonna hold for so long. I can't hold for that long yet. But that was such a simple trade. Um, Basically, a lot of the times, what just made it really obvious was this daily, like fact that YM went down, obviously to manipulate, like very obviously. There wasn't SSMT made here either. Very clear liquidity targets above engineer liquidities from previous week, from the previous month high, which wasn't taken last week. Then easy TP target. But that's it. Yeah, that was it for today. I'm pretty sure there was another entry given maybe here. Yeah, right here, I think. Yeah. Perfectly taps into EQ here and then distributes off. Let me see. Yeah, perfectly taps into here, but I don't think I would have taken this entry just because it's a little too premium for me, but very valid nonetheless. And then we just continue to be bullish all the way up to previous month high. And yeah, that was it for today. Very simple. But I forgot to mention actually, Forex Factory. I always check this first in the morning. Monday, we had no news that day. But um, on the financial juice, which is where there's unplanned news, like things like Trump talks and things like that. Yeah, we had so much unplanned news, which caused this gap. It was like something about the war going on in Iran, things like that. But honestly, you don't really need to pay attention to that because the charts will tell you everything. Like the fact that we engineered liquidity here, I don't care if like Trump's gonna throw another bomb, nuke Iran, nuke the whole Middle East. Price is gonna be bullish somehow. Like just because price is gonna be bullish. The liquidity is still higher. Whether there's a World War Five, three going on, nukes everywhere, it's gonna be bullish. It's gonna take the liquidity first. They're not gonna let you. They're not gonna let you guys. If all the big people going short, because that's where the liquidity is. That's where everyone's stops are. Like they're not gonna let that go. Even when World War Three is happening, it's gonna manipulate you first before anything. That's the priority of the markets. But anyways, that's it for today. And thank you so much for watching. Hope you guys learned something. And yeah, check out my TikTok. Keep on track on that with that if you want to continue learning how I trade. Although I'm not the best person to learn from right now because I'm not profitable consistently, but gotten a few payouts in the past few months, and things have been going good. I've just been basically documenting my journey on that. Um, but yeah, it's been good recently. And if you want to see just like a journey of me of like how it feels, all the psychology things, I still, sometimes overtrade as I mentioned, but still working on that, still getting better and improving every day. You'll find that all on my TikTok. But anyways, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace.